The Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, I read about you, fellow Boston native, and I read about your Tesla journey, and I was like, this is a fucking interesting story. This guy buys a broken Tesla, and then you couldn't get parts for it anywhere.
Nope.
So what had happened to the car? Had it been in an accident?
No. So I met the previous owner, and he actually, I think it was during Hurricane Sandy.
Oh.
He thought that, he goes, wait a minute, that water level seems low enough for me to drive through it. And he just started driving through the water. I think it got up to like the almost like the B pillar.
Oh no!
Up to like where his neck is. Yeah. And
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I know, right? So he thought he could fight the water. He lost, obviously, and it was just underwater. And I'm like, you know what? I got to try this thing.
And so what would Tesla do in that situation if he wanted to bring it back to them? They would have to rebuild the entire car.
They wouldn't even do it because at that point, once anything liquid, any kind of like water intrusion happens in an EV. They just write the whole car off. Insurance companies just like, we're not going to deal with this.
Too risky.
Too risky. It's not worth it.
Were you aware of the Fisker dilemma at Hurricane Sandy when they had the Fiskers that were parked at it was like at some sort of a dock, where they brought them off the ship. They all exploded.
Yeah, they all burned.
The water level rose, and the water got into them, and they just went off like fucking fireworks.
And they lost a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Look, there's a video of it. You can watch the video of them fucking blowing up. So as the water level rose and you can see the water breaching.
Yeah.
Well, the water gets to the cars, and when it gets to the cars, they just start going off like fucking fireworks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know that feeling. Oh yeah.
There
it
goes. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh damn. And then,
look at that shit, dude.
Whoa, it's like a supernova.
I mean, those are big ass fucking batteries just blowing the fuck.
That's
insane. That turns night into day.
That's amazing. How many? They lost like 40 cars or something like that?
They lost a fuckload.
Yeah.
And the company essentially went radioed silent for like a year.
That's a big L to take, for
sure.
It's a
They
big
took
loss.
a hit.
Yeah.
Once people realized their car could just explode.
Yeah, that's not good.
Sorry.
What happened?
This video, I didn't look at the name of the video. It popped up when I typed in the Fisker explosion, but this was the explosion of the Con Ed plant.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a huge. Yeah, that was a giant.
I was like, what the fuck is in those cars? But there is a video of the actual Fiskers exploding, isn't there?
I think there's definitely pictures.
I have a feeling the second video won't be as exciting now.
Yeah, let's leave it off.
Right.
Fuck it. More misinformation.
This set us back an hour.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that's the cars. That's what was left of them.
Wow.
And they all fucking blew up. It's a beautiful car, though. Fisker did a great job of making a car that looks really good.
Right, but you know what's funny? I think the back end's kind of ugly.
Do you?
I think the front looks like a fish. The back's kind of ugly. And then actually, have you ever driven one?
No.
You ever been in one?
No.
When you drive one, you'll be like, I get why this didn't work out.
Well, Justin Bieber had an all chrome one.
I remember that. Yeah. Does he still have it, though? Does he still have it?
He probably doesn't even know.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know at this point, yeah.
You know, the amount of money that dude must have. He probably has no idea if he has that car.
No kidding.
It's got it tucked away somewhere. But what do they drive like?
They're just not really great cars. It's not really a driver's car. It's a 2+2. The center
Keep
console.
this thing a little closer to you.
Sorry,
that's all right. It moves around if you want to take it with you.
The center console is super wide. It's a super awkward car to drive, and it's not really good at really anything. You know, it doesn't styling wise. I'm like, there
Justin's.
we go. Yeah.
So you think that back end looks ugly?
I don't think I did that much. No, no.
I like it.
But you know what's funny? The chrome doesn't look that bad.
Some guy got arrested in Germany. They pulled him over and it compounded his car because he had a gold shiny wrap on it.
All right, was it too reflective or something?
I've seen that on There's a couple on Sunset, like a Lamborghini or something.
They'll let you do that in America, but in Germany they're like, "Fuck off." They took that shit right out. You know, they're like harsh, cold, stoic folk. You know, they don't want you doing that. I mean,
they don't want you flexing too much over there.
Yeah, not too much.
No.
I bet they like reluctantly are making cars like super flashy for like American markets and shit.
I think so too. I
wonder.
You think so? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much of an influence it has. Like, if you could leave them to themselves,
right? What kind of cars do they make? Yeah.
Because I feel like so much of it is like market driven, but when it comes to like engineering and handling, like, god damn, German cars have it nailed.
They really do.
They
really
got
do.
it nailed.
But you know what? The Americans are they were trying to sneak up and get close for a while, but I mean, like the Germans it's the standard.
The only
benchmark for everything.
place where the Americans fuck with it is like, have you ever driven a Camaro ZL1?
I have, yeah.
That's a preposterous car.
It's an awesome car.
It's amazing.
I have a Corvette Z06.
Ooh, which year?
And Z06, Z06, which is the LS7 7-liter, and it's an insane car. By today's standards, it only has like 505 horsepower.
Isn't that funny?
But like,
that's not a lot.
It's a mean car. The car will put you on your ass really quick, man. Turn you into a man.
Our friend Taylor out there was telling us that they put a Tesla in ludicrous mode on a dyno, and it had some insane number of torque. It was like 900 pound-foot of torque, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 horsepower.
And the dyno could barely even read it. A lot of dynos don't even go that high in a lot of cases. Yeah. They're insane cars, man. I'm telling you. The Americans know how to do it now. I think it's interesting that, people don't realize this when they see a Tesla. It's a fully American car.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that. They're just like, oh, it's probably some like, German or like Japanese car. But the car's 100% made here.
Is this it right here, Jamie?
Yes.
Is this which model is this?
P100D.
P100D.
So that's the biggest one. So what does it say?
It says on a Mustang dyno.
So we're going to go from like a 20-mile-an-hour roll.
Sound like good old boys. We're going to take this Tesla up here and try to figure out how fast she goes. I think I can get it to jump.
I thought it said 56 seconds.
Yeah, no, I think it
Look at him. Hey.
it even almost jumps off the dyno at this point. There's so much torque.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very powerful car.
There you go.
When I've tried to describe it to people, especially people that have never driven an electric car, I'm like, it doesn't even seem real. It seems like it violates physics.
So how do you like yours, by the way? So
I
I know that Elon Musk came here and bamboozled you into buying one, pretty much. How
dare you? I love it. I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
It makes other cars seem stupid.
Right. Absolutely.
And I love cars.
Yeah, I know you're a car guy.
I love them. I love cars that don't even drive that fast. Right. I love mechanical, engineered excellence. I love when people figure things out, which is what brought me to you. I love the fact that you took this car that was fucked up, and you refused to let it go. You're like, I'm going to figure out how to fix this fucking thing. How much did you buy it for?
Wait, it was $15,000. And just to be clear on something, I'm not like some like evil genius or brainiac. This was driven by my cheapness because I didn't want to spend the kind of money they were asking for one.
Right.
So basically, this car was like $15,000, and the whole story started when my friend came over. He actually had a job at Tesla, and he's like, buddy, listen, there's these crazy cars. I know you have a Z06, but this car's faster than that. You're going to love this thing. I was like, that electric crap box, I don't want anything to do with that, whatever.
Right.
He brought the car over. Great looking car. I said, all right, I'll take it for a drive or whatever. And the thing was amazing, right? Amazing car. So I was in tech, and I'm just like, listen, like, you know what? Like, how much does this thing cost? Like, I make decent money, whatever. I'll just throw some money at it. He's like, listen, this will cost you about $120. I said, you know what? Have a nice day. I'm not buying that shit. And then he left, and I thought to myself, like, every night I was like, you know what? I got to get my hands on one of these cars, man. I got to get one. Like, sell a kidney, whatever, sell a testicle, whatever I can do. And I was searching online, and, what happens is whenever a car gets messed up, whenever a car gets, as they say, totaled in a way and it's a total loss, an insurance company will take it and they'll kind of auction it off to like the highest bidder. So I went to an auction site and I saw one for sale. It was like, $15,000. They said it didn't run or drive and it was in a flood. And I'm just like, $15,000, I could do that. That's a piece of cake, man. I'll throw some money at it, whatever. How hard can it be? You stick it in a bag of rice, you tie it up. He's like an iPhone. You drop your iPhone in the toilet.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, man, it sucks. You do it in a bag of rice and you're good to go. So I figured all I had to do was just buy more rice for this thing. And I got it home, and I was like, you know what? This is, I got myself into some shit here because it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
So you didn't, sight unseen? You purchased it?
Nope, sight unseen. And that's the way it is the most times. They don't really let you on the auction lots too often. So they took 5 photos of it. It was some from the interior, some from the side, and one under the frunk. And I was just like, I could probably do this, right? No big deal.
So this begins this project, which takes how long to completion? I
think it took me about maybe 6 or 7 months or so.
Of straight work?
No. So I have. So I was working at the time, and I think only between the hours of like 7 p.m. and like 11 p.m. Like every night,
Jesus.
And then weekends for a few hours until I figured it out. Yeah.
So goodbye social life.
Pretty much, yeah. I was a hermit for those months, and what I actually ended up doing was, so I had the car, right? So I was freaking out because my wife was just like, "How much was that thing?" Like, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, she had the divorce papers ready, pretty much. And there I am.
Was that it?
No, this was a different one.
That
yeah.
one's fucked up.
Yeah, that one's really messed up now. I couldn't save that one.
How much did you get that one for?
That one was about, guess.
$4,000.
That was $20,000 I paid for that.
What?
Car. Yes.
What?
Yes.
That thing's totaled.
Yeah, I know, but they're so valuable, man.
Really?
Because you know why? It's the battery technology and the motor technology that Tesla's using. Everyone's just dying for that stuff, man. Like, so any wrecked Tesla that you find, minimum. I know I'm spilling the secret sauce here. Minimum worth $15,000, even if it looks like that. Dead serious.
That's insane. What that thing doesn't even have doors.
Yeah, well,
like,
I took the doors off.
You took the doors off.
But the battery pack is still in there, right? And the motor.
That's what you want.
And the motor was still in there too.
Do people take those and put them in like old cars or anything yet?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Man. That's the new generation of hot rodders, man.
Because I saw something like that about a Mustang. It was like a 65, 66 Mustang that was electric, but I didn't know what train it used.
So you know how, you're a gearhead, you know this, the LS swap. They put literally an LS into everything.
Yeah, I have a Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser with one.
LS swap? Land Cruiser? Oh,
yeah.
no shit. So that's the new LS swap, basically. So the Tesla motor is the new LS swap. Everyone is swapping a Tesla motor into, Volkswagen Bugs, into Audis, into Porsches, into everything.
Well, I know people are doing LS swaps into 911s, and Porsche people are losing their fucking minds because they're taking old air-cooled cars, which are really notoriously difficult to get to a high horsepower rating.
Exactly.
Because those air-cooled cars, like you can only get them like around 400 plus horsepower.
They start crumbling.
Unless you're Singer.
Right.
Well, they've got that insanely engineered new one. What is that called? Lightweight.
I don't know what it's called. Either way, it's going to cost you damn near $100,000 to get a power out
something
of it.
Dynamic, lightweight, something. It's the most gorgeous looking of those Porsches I've ever seen ever. Singer's and they built that one up to 500 plus horsepower.
Right.
But
How much does it cost though? That's the thing.
Fucking $1.6 million.
Exactly. Yeah.
$1.6 million.
Yeah, you gonna buy one?
That's a giant house, man. that's a house with land.
Yeah.
You might have a lake.
Well, actually, that's not true. In LA, that's not a house.
No,
really.
but LA is not the real world. What is that? 67 Mustang meets Tesla.
Look at that.
AVR motors, all electric muscle car.
Okay.
Holy fuck. That's a 68.
That's good looking too.
That's one of the best looking rear ends of any car ever.
That's an awesome looking car.
Fuck, that looks incredible.
2.2, 0 to 60.
Yeah, there you go.
What the fuck?
So that's new. So it's going to cost you a ton of money.
Bookmark that.
Yeah. It's going to cost you a ton of money to recreate that same look.
God
damn.
damn.
Look, it has a nice screen too. Look at that.
That's so weird though to not shift a muscle car. I think I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm backing out. I'm backing out.
Oh wait, but you love your Tesla though. You don't shift that.
But it doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
I would be
true.
a super ultra poser.
Right.
The door handles come out like a Tesla's too?
Oh wait, that's the Tesla door handles.
Oh, fuck off.
I don't know.
Next.
Pretty sweet.
No. There's a company that does, it's a company called Revology that makes old, like 1966 to like 68 Mustangs, but they do it with all new parts and modern technology.
It's like a resto mod, pretty much.
It's not though, because it's a new car. They buy the full. That's actually a brand new car that's never existed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a ground up build.
Ground up built. They buy the whole. Because I think it's called a unibody construction. Is that what it is? There's something the way that these Mustangs are constructed. The body's built into the frame, and this company sells them like completed versions of the body kit that are perfect with perfect tolerances.
Right.
So that's one. The 67 Shelby GT500.
What's the price of? Oh wow.
Stupid expensive.
Yeah. It's not going to work.
It's like 2 Teslas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but they're dope. It's dope as fuck. If you look at like what it looks like, go down, see some pictures of it, Jamie. You can get a better sense of it. But this guy is
that's ground
very
up.
meticulous. Yeah, this company is very meticulous. I've been following their stuff for quite a while. What they do is really incredible. Right. That's an all new sheet metal. Like everything's new, but it has killer brakes and it has a modern Coyote Mustang engine in it.
Right, a 5.0. Yep.
So it's a 460 horsepower engine in these old badass muscle cars, and that one's the GT500. That one's
That thing
actually
is nice.
supercharged. That has a 600 horsepower engine. Dude, it's dope. They're fucking gorgeous. They're gorgeous cars. They're really pretty.
So what would you think about someone dropping an electric motor on one of these things?
See, I love it. Look, I love people doing crazy shit, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I need to shift. If I'm driving that thing, I gotta pretend I'm Steve McQueen.
I hear you, man.
I want to.
Now, here's the thing. So what do you think about the new? You've seen the new Tesla Roadster, right?
Gorgeous.
What do you think about
I
it?
love it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but it's theirs from the bottom up. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's like I don't mind not shifting in it. That thing seems like it's gonna literally punch a hole through space time.
I think so too, man. I think so too. I think they're looking at it like 0 to 60 in like 1 point something seconds.
Yeah,
man.
I think it's 1.9. I think
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
It's insane.
That's
man.
bizarre.
I know.
mean, it's when you feel it in the P100D mine. Like everybody that I get in the car and I
Right.
stomp on the gas, they're like,
They can't
"What
believe it."
The fuck?
Yeah, they can't
I go,
believe
yeah,
it.
These are around you. It's like vampires being around people. Like
Right.
people that just leap to the top of buildings and then walking around
Right.
looking regular until
Yeah.
some shit goes down.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely amazing cars, man. And I think that's one of the main reason why I was like, I gotta get one of these, man.
So
I gotta get one.
what was the struggle? Initial struggle. You have the car, you take it apart, and what did you see?
Right. So pretty much I was kind of taking my time because I knew there was a point where I couldn't fix the damn thing and I was just kind of wasting everyone's time. When I was like, hey, is this thing almost done? I was like, yeah, babe, don't worry about it. We're good. Don't worry. Our money's safe. And so there's a certain point where I took everything apart and I was like, all right, cool. I found a dead fish in the back of the car, by the way. So actually, you know what? The turning point of this whole thing was, the turning point was I realized it was salt water and not fresh water. So you know what salt water does to stuff, right? So it just kills everything. So 90% of the car was kind of toast. And I said to myself, all right, I'm going to call Tesla up, you know, buy a motor, buy a battery pack. I'll be good. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll spend like 20 grand for a battery and like maybe 10 for a motor. I'll be like for 40. It's still cheaper than 100.
Right.
Right. So I called them up and, you know, they were like, hey, you know, how's it going, man? I was like, hey, you know what? Crazy thing happened, right? So I bought this Tesla, it was underwater. And I need like a couple of things. I need a battery. I need like a motor. You know, just throw me those things. It's fine. They're like, well, we're not going to sell it to you. I was like, well, why not? Because you have no capability of fixing the car yourself. You know, you're going to get yourself killed. It's not going to work. You know, give me your VIN number. And I gave them the VIN number. They're like, no, that car's listed as salvage. That thing was underwater. We're not going to help you. And they just hung up the phone pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. So like, this is the crazy part too, is that they know, you know, I'm putting my conspiracy theorist hat on. They know where every single car is. They know what it's doing. They know if the airbags went off. They know if you farted in the front seat. They know everything about these cars.
Right.
So pretty much when you give them the VIN number, you know, the cars are always connected back to the mothership to give you the status in the car. So they know what's going on. So, you know, if you try to hide from them, you just can't do it. So I had the car and I said to myself, you know what, this isn't going to work. I got to figure something out. So what I did basically, I bought another car for 15 grand. And I was like, I got to swap this stuff over. So I swapped everything over.
So the other one that you bought for 15 grand, everything worked?
Well, it was in a front-end collision.
Okay.
It was in a hard front-end collision. And
So the frame was bent or something?
frame was bent. The thing was toast. And I just took all the electronics from one to the other.
How do you check to make sure that everything isn't damaged? Like when...
Well, that's a good thing. A lot of the wiring harnesses were cut, right, in the front-end collision car. But the interesting part was that in the flooded car, the wiring harnesses were still good for the most part in the front.
Really?
So what I did was, meaning not broken or torn or having
Right.
bent connectors, I just took those connectors off and actually cleaned them because I couldn't get parts, you know, from Tesla.
Wow.
I took like the wet wiring harnesses that were all corroded, pulled them out, got like, you know, a Q-tip, toothbrush, and all that stuff.
What do you
And
clean them with?
So I cleaned them with baking soda and like a wire brush, and like I got a toothpick too to really get in there and like cleaning the contacts and stuff. And I just rinsed them out with water.
By this time, your wife's probably like, what
She's pissed.
the fuck?
She goes, I
Rich?"
noticed we're missing $30,000 from our bank account. and
And you got two cars that don't work.
exactly, two cars that don't work, you know, and there's $30,000 missing from our bank account. Like, what's going on here? So it was just, it was painstaking, but eventually, you know, I got the job done, man. So what I ended up doing was, 30 grand. Right.
Right.
I told my friends, hey, listen, you know, I'm in a mess here. I'm rebuilding a Tesla. And they're just like, you know, you're an idiot. You're not going to figure this out. Like, no one's doing that. Because this was years ago. This is when the cars were still kind of coming onto the scene and they weren't as popular as they are now. And they're like, you can't fix that. Like, you're an idiot. You can't do that. I've seen your work. So after a while, you know, I took all the parts from one to the other. got one running, and then the parts I didn't need anymore, like the old battery pack, and some of the so there were some parts of the battery that were still good. So I actually sold those parts like online and on eBay and stuff like that. And then I sold like the motor. He had water in it. Some guy gave me $5,000 for a motor that had water in it. That's how valuable these parts are.
Wow. So what was he planning on doing? The same thing, like cleaning it out?
I have no idea. To this day, I don't know. So I think he was in the same situation. I think he brought it home to his wife. He's like, hey, look what I got. It's probably still at his house. And so after all that, sold all the parts, I ended up getting the car I have now for about $6,000.
So you take the engine, and is that one of the 4-wheel drive ones, the ones you have?
This was just the rear-wheel drive one.
And so it has just the rear engine?
The single motor, yep.
One engine. Mm-hmm. And so you take those out, you put it all back in, you replace the wires, and then it's good to go? What about the computer? What about
gosh. So pretty much the computer thing was interesting because so I called Tesla again, right? I was like, hey, buddy, like this car is like 99% of the way there.
Do they know who you are?
At this point, they still don't know who I am, nor do they care. They still probably don't care who I am. But
did you say, hey, man, you remember you hung up on me?
Yeah,
like
hey,
4
you
months
son
ago?
of a... Yeah, right? The car still doesn't work. Well, the car still didn't work.
Right.
So the tough part was I had to... So remember, I had no key for the car.
Oh.
So I was like, hey, I need a key. You know what I mean? Like, help me out here. I need a key. And they were like, well, are you the same idiot that called? I'm like, yeah, I need the key. They're like, we can't, as I stated before, we can't help you because, this is a salvage car, so you're on your own. So what I did was I actually, in the GPS screen, because the screen turned on, the guy still had the home location. So I pushed home on the GPS screen, found the guy's address, right? Right? This is creepy. It gets creepy, right? Found the guy's address, and I was like, hey, can we, I called him up. I was like, hey, did you own like a white Tesla by chance? And he's like, who is, like, yeah, I own one. I was like, yeah. So I bought it, and I need the key. Do you have the key to the car? And he's like, no, I don't have that. Like, what are you calling me for? Like, I don't understand. He's like, well, I'm rebuilding it. I'm putting the electronics from your car into another, and I want to figure it out. And he's like, you know what? I can't help you. I don't have the key. And I was like, damn, it sucks, because I have a family and stuff, and I really kind of give him the sob story, like,
right.
If you could really look for it and help me out, it'd be good. And we started talking about general topics, and he's like, I know you're a car guy. That's awesome. I had a Z06 once, and I was like, hey, I have a Z06 too. And he's like, yeah, it was Le Mans Blue. And I was like, hey, mine's Le Mans Blue. And he's like, what year is it? I was like, it's an 06. He goes, I sold that same car or car like it like 2 years ago to a guy in Florida. I was like, I bought the car from a guy in Florida. So we started bonding. So it turns out I actually owned his old Z06.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
What are the odds that 2 human beings on the planet, you own both of this guy's cars?
Both of his guys' cars. It was insane. So he's like, listen, he goes, awesome, I'll see if I could find, the key.
Are you friends with that dude now?
No, we never talked again after that.
Seems like you should be friends.
Well, no, here's the reason why. So number one, it was super creepy for me to call the guy.
Right.
And number two, when I went kind of silent for a week, he called me back and said, buddy, I found the key.
Oh.
I found the key to the car. I was like, awesome, dude. Like, you're fantastic. I'm going to send you an envelope to your address so you could kind of give me the key. And he's like, yeah, great. How about like $600? And I was like, Broheim, we just bonded over the fact that I own both of your cars. What are you doing to me here?
600 for
yeah,
the
600.
key.
And remember, like, to a lot of people, that's nothing. But like to me, like I was trying to be cheap and scrappy.
$600
is a bit much.
Is $600.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
That's a lot of money.
And I was like, hey, the key didn't exist to you as of like a week ago. But now that you can make money from it, like now you want to charge $600, and he's just like, da da da. So we started talking again, and he goes, how about $400? And I was like, you know what, guy, I'll just give you the money. Just take the damn money. And
blood money.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. So I sold my soul pretty much. And,
no, he did.
Yeah,
he's got that
what?
blood money.
No, but I shouldn't have. I feel like I shouldn't have taken it.
I would have rubbed that money on my balls, put it in an envelope. Here you go, bro.
Make sure you sniff that $100 bill first.
I mean, it's like, I get it. He's just being a dirtbag.
Right, but
There's
but after that, you got the key, and it's that's what it is. And then the car's running and driving today. Man.
So as soon as you got the key, you're good. Do you have one key or two?
Just one.
Oh,
if I lose that, I'm screwed.
Can you make it? does the phone work, like your app, does it work on the car?
Nope.
Damn.
No.
That's big. The app is big.
It's huge. Yeah.
I like
it's cool.
When you get the car to come to you.
You could summon it.
Come to daddy. Come on. You could park like literally with an inch on each side.
Right.
And
That's
you go, come
that's
to daddy.